Hi friends. So in the earlier section we have learned about Linux manual pages and some basic command. So in this section we will learn about standard input, output, error and redirection. Okay, so let's get started. So for any command, there is some standard input or command's argument. There is no need that every command needs some standard input. So some command needs standard input and some commands will work on only command argument. But there will be definitely either some output and either some error. Okay, so we have called them here a standard output or standard error. So the dash is arrow represents the standard data stream. So basically, the standard input by default is attached to your keyboard and it is ready to take your as input. But the standard output or standard error is attached to your command line screen. So whatever it is give you, it will throw on your window command line. Now, the one thing is to remember is the standard data stream number. So for data stream number of standard input is 0, as you can see, and for standard output number is 1 and standard error is 2. All right, we will understand this by on when we will go to our Ubuntu VM. For now, let's go and let's learn how. So after understanding the command standard input output, we will also learn how you can redirect your output or error, or how you can read take input of any standard input file and route redirect them to standard out. Okay, so let's head over to our Ubuntu VM and let's practice this. So I am on my Ubuntu VM. I will open my terminal. So I'm inside my terminal. So once I used to enter date, then it will throw an output, right? So this is an output, this is not an error. So what it did, it take a command argument as input and give it a output. So it is giving us a data stream code 1 because it was output and taking as command input. So what similarly with the cal, so cal 12 2020, so it is a command argument which is, and what it is going to throw, so it is going to throw a month of December 2020. Okay, now there is a command called cat. We will learn more about in depth in later section. So let me take help of man pages. So if I will type man cat, so it is saying if it has no file or when file is, then it will read from standard input. All right, so let me hit q. So if I will type cat and hit enter, so what it is doing, it is now it is ready to take your input from your keyboard. So if I will type hello and if I will hit enter, so it is attaching the same output to the terminal. So if I will write again hi, so it will throw and it will go then and then. So let me hit Control C. So what it is doing, it is taking a standard input and throwing the same standard output in here only. Okay, now let me hit cancel. How you can redirect them, how you can redirect these things to a file. So what I will do, I will write cat and what was the standard data stream number of standard output, so it was 1, and then I will press a greater than arrow. Then you can put a space here, it is not required but you can put, and I will type output dot txt. Okay, so here you can have a space but here you cannot have a space, it's not acceptable. Okay, so if I will type enter, so it will allow me to enter something. So I will type hello and welcome to Linux. Okay, if I will hit enter, so now this time it didn't give me any input. Now let me type another line. Hi, Linux is amazing. Okay. Now I will hit cancel. It didn't give me output, right? Like the earlier one. So where it did is stored. So we have provided here that a standard output should be go to this file. Now where is this file? So whenever I was introducing to your command line, so I was saying that if I am where I am at my home folder, right? The tilde icon represent home folder. So let me head over to my home folder and let's see if there is any output file or not. So I have clicked the file. Now I am at my home folder. As you can see, there is an output.txt file, right? So if I will open it, so you can see whatever we have written here, it is here. Hello and welcome to Linux and hi, Linux is amazing. Okay, I will close this one. Now, of course, so I will click upper arrow key to bring the previous command. So here you do not need to put one. You can also mention the the not you do not need to mention one. So it's a shortcut for the cat standard output. So you can only mention cat greater than output.txt. So it will also do the same work. So I will hit enter. So it's again ready to take as input. I am joking. No, Windows is amazing. I will hit enter. I will hit cancel. Now I will head over to my home folder. I will check my output.txt. Okay. Now where are all my previous lines went? So Linux, what it did, so it's rewrite to the file. It's just deleted everything before that and then it written a new stuff to it, whatever we write. Okay. So what we can do, we can close this. So for appending to a file, we can use double greater than sign here. Okay. And of course we can write one here. You do not need to mention it again and again, but yeah, you can write one. So if I will type hit enter, I will write no, you are joking. Linux is really amazing and powerful too. So let me hit enter and let me cancel it. Now if I will visit to my output.txt, so now you can see it didn't rewrite the previous line and it just appended to the next line. Okay, so the double greater than sign will append to your file, it will not rewrite to your file. So basically it is used to help in logging thing. Okay, so I will explain it later. So by default cat does not support any key option. So if I will type man cat, so it does not have any key option. Okay, so let me hit q. So if I will type cat option k etc, if I will hit enter, so it is giving any output and it is not a real output, it's an error, right? So it's an error. Cat invalid option hyphen k. Try cat help for more information. So what it did? So it throws an error to our standard output screen, so which is our output screen. And I was telling by default in Linux, the standard output and standard error is attached to our screen. Okay. So what I will do, I will type cat hyphen k etc. What I will do, I will type 2 greater than error.txt. So here I am typing 2 because the data stream number of an error was 2, then greater than, because I am writing all of these to what error.txt. Okay. Now if I will hit enter, so it might have created one folder here, error.txt, right? Let me open it. Right? So it has written the error here. Now, what if I want to write anything else to the same file? So suppose the next person came and he writes option KM and then something etc 25VM. Okay, so when I will hit enter, so what it will do, it will rewrite to the file invalid option M, right? So it didn't write K option. So here what I will do, I will append to this file as discussed earlier. I will append again, I will append again, I will append again. So what it will do, re it will just append to the new file, right? See, I have typed 4 times and it gave the error for 4 times, and the first one was from the beginning of the file. So this appending of and redirection is helping in logging. So what you can do, you can set up it on your any server and set up like whenever user is entering some command, it should throw an logging file to any destination folder, right? So it is very helpful in logging. So now you have understand the standard output and standard error. So let's head over and learn about standard input. Okay. Now, how you can navigate one time on the both standard output and standard error. So for that, you can type cat. You do not need to mention one, but for illustration, I am doing that. Greater than output.txt, and at the same time, I am putting two greater than error 1.txt. Okay, so for right now, let me delete these folders so that they will create a new entry for this, and I will give it the same name. Okay, now if I will hit enter, it will ask me for input. So let me type Linux is really amazing. I am enjoying. I am, oh, sorry, enjoying it. Okay, so it was not any error, right? So if I will hit cancel by pressing Control plus C. So what it will do, it will write to an output.txt file, but it will not write anything to error.txt. But it will have created both the files. So if I will hit open error.txt, it's empty. But if I will open my output.txt, so it's just pasted the output. Understood? So you can use both the option at the same time, the standard output and standard error. So now let's understand how you can input to a file. Okay. Now if I will type cat, so I can for outputting to a file, I can just click upper greater than sign, or I can write one also, and I will type input.txt. If I will hit enter, hello, this is input file. Okay, so first let me delete these files that was created earlier. Okay, so input file was created. Let me delete these output and error file. Okay, so hello, this is an input file. Now, if I will hit cancel, so it was written to this file input.txt. We can verify them by opening it. Okay, let me see why it didn't write anything. Okay, and let me write. Okay, I will hit cancel. Now, if I will head over to my files and open input.txt, Okay, so it is written now. Now how I can redirect to it any file. Okay, how I can take it as input. So what I will do, I will write cat, and you might have remembered that the standard input data stream number was 0, and instead of greater than, because it was writing to this thing, I will write less than for standard input, and I will type input dot txt. Okay, so what it is doing, it is writing from input.txt file and taking as input. So if I will hit enter, so you can see it is writing to here. So for one and 0 there is shortcut, you do not need to mention 1 and 0. So if I will not mention 0 also, it will work. Okay, but for 2, for standard error, you need to mention 2. So there is no shortcut for that. Okay, so there is no file called output.txt. How we can take input from an one file and redirect it to any output? How we will do that? So it's very easy. So for that we will type cat. Okay, cat 0. We do not need to mention 0 also, and we do not need to mention 1 also. Less than input.txt, and then 1 greater than hello.txt. So what am I doing here? I am taking input.txt file as input, okay, and redirecting it to an output file 1.1 by mentioning 1 hello.txt as output. So it's an output file. If it is throwing an error, so we could have redirected it to 2 greater than whatever your file name is. So if I will type hit enter, and if I will head over to my files, and if I will hit enter, so you can see it has redirected the output. Okay, now so similarly you can mention it for whatever you are. Suppose you have written any error file to input.txt, and if I want to write anything to any error file, error log, it's the best name, and let me do not need to mention 0. Okay, so if I will hit enter, so it is giving you here, and if I will see in here, so it was not an error, right? It was not an error, it was a standard output, it didn't give us any error, so it didn't write. Okay, but if it was in any error, so you could have passed here, so it might have written in error log.txt. Okay, now the more advanced, let me open another terminal. uh, I will type control alt T. Okay, now how I can read input from a one file and redirect it to another. So if I will type tty, so it is giving me where is my tty is. So if I will type copy this output. Now what I will do, I will take input of any file and redirect it to output to that another terminal window that I had opened earlier. So let me open this inside here so that it will be visible in the real time. Okay, in here I am here. So just see this one. So if I will write cat 0, I am reading it from an input file input.txt, and if I will redirect it to output, this one. So what it is here? Okay, so if I will hit enter, what it will do, it is taking input of my this file and writing it to the output of this terminal window. Okay, so let me hit enter. You can see what it did. So it is taking input of my file and it did pasted here, right? So yeah, you can play along with these powerful commands. And yeah, that's it for this video. In next video we will learn piping, which is most powerful known command in Linux, and we will learn more about it by taking help from T and Xargs command. So yeah, that's it for this video. Take care and bye.